Shalom and welcome back to our Revolutionary Living, or welcome if this is your first time. Our channel is all about just sharing a little slice of our revolutionary life with you all. Travel, work, family, experiences, and more. So today's video is going to be a review and somewhat of a rating of our experience of Montego Bay, Jamaica. And also just a bit of sharing our itinerary of what we did, just to give you an idea of Montego Bay is somewhere that you may like to visit in the future. So first and foremost, we flew out of Atlanta, Georgia, and heads up, all the things you're seeing on social media online now, saying that the airports are crazy. It's true. It wasn't too bad, but there were a lot of delays. Now, in this evaluation of what do we do, where do we stay, how do we like it, this video will very much highlight the difference in, and this is my real thoughts off the top of the dome. You see I have my iPad pencil, may jot something down to not forget. But this will help you to evaluate, number one, do you only want to stay in a resort? Is Montego Bay the type of location where you would enjoy an Airbnb, hotel, or some other type of accommodation? What is the city like? There are a lot of very popular tourist locations where it is popular and nice where tourists are, resorts or certain strip, but then the town isn't as well upkept. So is Montego Bay one of those? Do we feel safe there outside of the resort? Also, when you look up information about Montego Bay, it's all resort stuff for the most part and excursions. You don't get that other side of the coin when trying to decide how is this vacation going to be, what kind of clothes I want to take. We are also a conservative family. I mean, our lifestyle is biblically based. My dress code is modest, so is my husband's, things of that nature. So how do you plan a vacation for a conservative or modest couple or family when everything is bikinis and a party city, right? So can Montego Bay still be a good conservative location? I'm covering all of that. So we did decide to stay in Airbnb as opposed to a resort and in Montego Bay. We knew that we are the type who like to explore the city, explore what it has to offer, do excursions. We would not be on resort enough to justify paying $1,000 plus more than what we paid for the Airbnb, knowing that we were not going to be on property throughout most of the day. It was great. I will share our Airbnb link in the description. First and foremost, our host is just very dynamic. They have their hands in a few different pots, if you will. So if you're looking for certain things, they're going to help you because they pretty much do it themselves. Things like transportation, excursion options, things of that nature. So our host picked us up from the airport. The taxis and other transport services can be $40 plus per person, but they picked us up and it was free as a part of our Airbnb booking. Loved it, amazing. They were on time, they were friendly. As they rode us to the Airbnb, we rode through some of the more popular locations, such as the Hip Strip. Oh, it's right there. Saw some of the more popular restaurants. They stopped us to pick up lunch at a restaurant. That was like, well, if this is your only ride right now, when you get to the house, we want you to already be comfortable. So they stopped us for food. They exchanged our money. We was like, okay, we want to go ahead and exchange such and such hundreds of dollars. Can you stop us somewhere for that? He was like, here you go. My exchange rate is A, B, and C, as opposed to like 100. In the airport, he did 140. If you go on Google, the real exchange rate is about 150. So everybody's going to make something off of the exchange, but he did it for 140 for us. And we gave him the US dollars. He had enough to exchange for us. And then he stopped us at the grocery store. And I'm saying he, but his wife was with him as well. So it was very comfortable, felt very safe. I'm with my husband, he's with his wife, and they're just showing us around. They stop us at the grocery store. They go in and shop too. We pick up just some basics for before we get out of the Airbnb, or maybe late at night if we need some snacks. Didn't want to go out, have something in the house, right? So that was amazing. Now, I am going to do a separate video detailing different costs. I already said the transfer was free, but we went to the store, we got food. Where do we go? How was the food? I'm going to get into the cost of all that. Now I'm just giving you more so the itinerary and how was it. So number one, the Airbnb that we stayed at and the host that we had was a good idea. The free transfer from the airport was great. Stopping to get food and groceries before the Airbnb, given that we don't have that resort all-inclusive, was also a great idea. Now for food. So if you have watched anything Montego Bay, you've seen resorts and you've seen the hip strip. So the hip strip is just, first of all, it's the beach strip, and it's lined with mostly stores and shops, like gift shops, restaurants, and it's just where tourists and even locals go kind of just to hang out. So you'll see a lot of people walking all day in that area. In our particular case, now hear me out, and this was a suggestion too to go here. We eat clean, we eat lawful, we don't eat meats like pork, shellfish, things of that nature. The restaurant they stopped us at is called the Pork Pit. It's on the hip strip. Here's the thing, we got chicken, and the chicken was on its own grill. So it was a separation between the different types of meat. So yes, we felt comfortable stopping at this location, though it was called the Pork Pit. They had clean foods and they had it separated. So we tried that. Many people suggested it online, and people we know from the area stated they had the best jerk chicken. Now, we live in Metro Atlanta. I have better jerk chicken in Atlanta. I've made better jerk chicken than the Pork Pit in Jamaica. Is it nasty? No, it was very well cooked chicken. But we were looking for what we used to, the jerk sauce being on the chicken whole experience. It was like sauce. He was like, no, I jerk it when I cook it. Like it's jerked. So I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be some crazy seasoned chicken. It was some very good grilled chicken. So like texture, taste, cooking ability, great. Jerk, no. Now, I will say I only took small clips throughout the trip. Mostly I was just trying to be present, get some memories, but this was not for me to be vlogging. So I will insert the clips that I do have as I speak about the different experiences. I did not record the Airbnb, even though in person to me it was even better than it looked on the photos, but I will try to insert the photos and the link in the description and the photos in the video. But the Airbnb was great. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house. It was only us, living room, full kitchen, washer, no dryer. Line dry in Jamaica is just what they do often. It was a gated property, nice neighborhood. When we asked the locals about the neighborhood, they were saying like this is considered, you know, middle to upper middle class, and like a block over is like the rich area. So I mean, yeah, take that, do with that what you will. It also, as far as transportation, we could have rented a car. I don't think it would be the best option for us. A lot of places we went did not have parking for real. Yeah, they don't use GPS like that in Jamaica. Like any taxi or any other transportation we took, we just told them like the neighborhood we lived in or were staying in, and they would get us there and be like, okay, look around, what house, or like what next. Nobody used addresses there. They have them, but yeah, it just wouldn't have been as exact trying to use Apple Maps or Google Maps in Jamaica. And yes, even just riding in the car, you think through how your driver is driving. And several times, both me and my husband, mine would go, ooh, and we would say to each other, like, I would have turned and got in the right lane, or would have went the wrong way on the roundabout. Because the whole driving on the left side thing, it sounds like a simple change, but it's different. It's different. So there's that. Transportation, you can rent a car. Our host has a rental car agency. We did not do it. Glad we did not. We did not mind spending the money on taxis. And speaking of, how did we get around? They don't have Uber, but we use the route taxis. Now, it's not for everybody. Again, we like a little bit more of the local experience when we go out. The route taxis, they run through certain routes, and in our case, through our neighborhood and into town, charging a set fee. But when you get in, especially depending on the size of the vehicle, anybody else on that route who see that taxi can get in as well. So there was times where we got in a regular 5-passenger car and it would be just us. And there was times where we got into like a 6-passenger van and it would be 7 people in there. But it was never problematic or uncomfortable. It was kind of cool more than anything. So that was transportation, and we'll get into the price of that in the next video. Okay, so we came in on a Sunday. Flight lands, we get picked up. By the way, we ate at the airport as well. Little snacks, good airport food. We considered doing Club Mobe. If you know, you know. Glad we did it. Timing wise, we did not need to wait around and just sit in the lounge. We would have just been in there trying to waste time to get our money's worth if we did. They have food for purchase, and good food outside of the Club Montego Bay, and it's good food. It is good food. So wasn't necessary at all. We got picked up almost. We woke up at like 5 a.m. the next day, just ready to hit the road. So next day is Monday, of course, right? So what do? We jumped that taxi, and I'll be looking at my notes. We go get breakfast. We do some souvenir shopping. Again, we went to the hip strip, which is all shops. So souvenirs will be no problem if you do want them. Picked up some patties. If you know Jamaican patties, we wanted to try them there. They were delicious. Several different locations. We enjoyed them. And then at this point, we had booked same morning. We had booked a tour, maybe, to go to Negril. Where we got? So again, we're in Montego Bay. We booked this van to take us to Negril, where we can explore there, just see a different part of the island. And we heard it's a beautiful drive on the way up. It takes like about an hour and a half. So after we get our breakfast, which I'll circle back on how that was, he picks us up, drives us on the way to the grill. He stops us for the patties on the way at Juicy Patties. If you've heard of it, try it. It's kind of like it's a chain restaurant, but it's better than the patties that you get in like the Jamaican restaurants, just standalones, at least in our area. Very good. And they sell other stuff, soups, like they really doing it. And once we get all the way to the grill, the first thing they stop us at is that it's a resort. Now I would say kind of like a lower level resort, but we paid $10 extra in addition to the cost to get there. And we have beach access. They have a restaurant on the beach if you want to eat there, because at this point it's getting later in the afternoon. We didn't eat. I think my husband bought like drinks or something like that. We just relaxed on the beach. You can swim. You can do beach. You can stay there for hours if you want. They have water sports and activities, parasailers and so forth. We didn't do any of that. We literally just relaxed on the beach. It rained for a while. We kind of set up under the bar and just chilled, and that was fine. That was fine. We liked the relaxation. We enjoyed the drive and the history information we learned along the way. Oh, we stopped also at this fort, just for like a little quick history lesson and beautiful pictures. Made it to the beach. As it started to get later in the afternoon, we made it to our next stop, which is at Rick's Cafe. Now, for the conservative families, Rick's Cafe is a party location. It is they play worldly music from different generations, different genres, but it is definitely geared to the Black customer, Black American customer at that, if I may. But how do we get around that? There will be women there who are in swimwear. Rick's is known for their sunset, which is why we went. It's a bar, it's a restaurant. They have food, they have drinks. It is a little bit more expensive, but nothing crazy. And they're known for their cliff jump. So it's right on the edge of the water. They have a little section you go up to and you can like jump off the cliff, right? So there's swimwear and everything in between, right? All kind of people. There's a higher level. So when you get there early enough and want to make sure you get a table, so you're not down in the midst of all the hoopla. We got set upstairs, and you can do a reservation. But if you can, I suggest it, because there's one table right at the very top on the very edge of the balcony. It has an unobstructed view, of the sunset. We was at the next table over, and nobody was sitting at that table. So when my husband, my Lord, said, we want a table, like take care of us, she knew what we meant. Like, we didn't want to be in the crazy, and she took us up to the sunset spot that usually have to be reserved, but we got it. We enjoyed some food, light fare. He ate more. Drinks, watched the sunset, and the music just becomes background. You just choose to mentally indulge or not. So it could be done. Watching the cliff jumpers was entertaining. They have divers there that are pretty much professional, or just locals, and they're very good at it, and it was entertaining. So you take what you can get with these experiences. We drive back to Montego Bay. It's nighttime at this point. Hour and a half drive. Just be prepared. The drivers drive like they're going to get you where you're going, okay? And he dropped us back home, so that was very convenient. He didn't drop us back in the city or back on the hip strip where he found us, or where we scheduled our pickup. He took us back to the Airbnb. Don't necessarily expect this, discuss it if you want to be sure, but I just think we build enough of rapport where he just was like, okay, it's night, I appreciate y'all booking with me. It was only us on this van and we had a good time. Now back to the breakfast. We went to Pelican Grill, highly rated, highly recommended, and it was delicious. We went twice during our stay. If you want to try the, I guess, traditional Jamaican dishes, the national dish, I can saltfish, kalaloo and saltfish, yam, boiled banana, fried dumpling, fruits, smoothies, everything there. They have coffee, they have mimosas, they have American style breakfast, and I didn't order it, but it looked good if you just want to switch it up. I could have did Pelican Grill at least 4 of the days there. We only did 2. Very delicious. On the hip strip, price very reasonable. We got the sampler. When you get there, you would know what I'm talking about. It was enough food for me and my husband to share. We did not get our own plate. I mean, maybe we just don't eat much. Neither one of us are like overindulgers, but we shared that sampler, had our fruit juices, and we were good. Okay, so that's Monday. Now, I've already said that we decided not to stay at a resort. That does not mean we have anything against resorts, right? So we wake up on Tuesday, we jump a taxi in the neighborhood again, and we have them take us to a barbershop. Now, my husband works a lot. He did not have time to stop for a haircut before leaving Atlanta, so he did some research online, found one that looked reputable and did a good job. And he got like a little edge up fade, nothing too difficult, I guess. They did a really good job. We ended up going to one at Fairview Icon Mall, I think it's called. Kind of a little bit of a nicer location. It was clean, whatever. And also, when we go places, we like to view it from the perspective of what would the locals be doing. We live here, we'll be going to the grocery store, we'll be riding around town, we would be getting our hair done, things of that nature. So I'm also curious as how much things like that cost. It costed 2,000 Jamaican dollars, which, if I'm not mistaken, do not quote me, I'll do the math on this in a minute, but I think it was like $12. So much cheaper than an American barbershop. So we got that done. It took a little minute because we went to 2 different locations. One, the barber wasn't in yet. It was the morning. So after we got that done, we got another taxi to take us from there, kind of far, into the resort. Now, I suggest y'all to do this, especially if you stay in an Airbnb, and I suggest you to book it as early as possible. Now, it worked out for us. We went there in July in wet season, but it wasn't bad. It was still very much so a lot of tourism going on. It's actually festival season there, so it's still a lot going on. So for it to be so busy, we booked a lot the same day. But our same day bookings did affect our plans and what day we decided to do what things, because sometimes it did not work out. But I called, asked if they have availability for resort passes at this particular location. They said they'll call me back. I was speaking to the concierge. They called us back, said yes, we could take you 2 adults today for a resort pass. So we get there, we're late. Resort pass starts like 11 a.m. Now, if you pay this money for this resort pass, you want all your hours because there's a set time frame you could be on property. But we didn't get there until like 1, so 2 hours already off. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say the resort pass was for the Hilton Rose Resort. Beautiful property. It's always booked up for rooms months in advance. So again, if you can get that, you may not can get a day pass. And if you do, again, call way beforehand and you pay for it when you get there. So just reserve your day if you can. Hilton Rose Hall Resort, beautiful property. The food, I'm gonna say it's delicious, keeping the perspective of it's still a resort. Like, But even still, some of the dishes we had were some of the best we had on the island. So they have good food, they have snack food, they had okay food, they had quick food, but it's good.
I don't really want to side. We got ice cream.
Out of there. Variety. If you stayed there for your entire resort stay, you would enjoy yourself. Okay. Did we get our money's worth? Yes, absolutely, more than enough. We counted how many drinks we had, whether it was smoothies, bar drinks, patties, coffee, red snapper, you know, fish and stuff like that is expensive. Jerk chicken, excursions we did on property, we got our money's worth, right? We went to the beach and just got a boat ride, easily $50 per person. They had little sailboat rides free. You just go and wait in line, and it was no line, and say, I want to get on the boat. As many times you want. There's kayaks. Just go. And we stayed there from like 1 to 6, maybe 7. The thing ended at 6, and then we kind of just waited around for a taxi and just was kind of chilling. Beautiful property. I think they have an evening pass as well, and it is a different experience. We saw them kind of switching the property to dinner, nighttime entertainment, and we kind of got to see a bit while we was waiting to call our taxi. Just do it, okay? It seems like a waste of money. It seems like it's not enough hours for what you're gonna get, but trust me, you can manage to eat enough food, have enough drinks, swim enough, boat enough, whatever, to make it worth it, okay? We didn't have to try too hard. Very good time. And that was Tuesday. Now, that was very detailed. I'm gonna split this up maybe Sunday through Tuesday, Wednesday through Friday, something of that nature. So there may be a part 2. All right, guys, I hope you have enjoyed the recap so far, that it is informational, that it's helping you plan your vacation, whether or not you want to stay at a resort, what things you want to do off of resort, and we have much more to come. Excursions, food, great experiences in part 2. So be sure to be on the lookout for Montego Bay part 2. Again, I am Shifra Sarai. You have reached the Review-Airbnb page, and we do thank you for being here. If you like some of what you heard, want to see more of our content, please like, please comment, please subscribe. Small fee to ask for something that is very beneficial to our page. So if you do choose to do so, again, we very much so appreciate you, and enjoy these final scenes of these beautiful views of our ride out to Negril, Jamaica. Shalom.